Hello, everybody. Welcome back to part 4 of this 3-part series. Part 4 is a bonus series. And we did a 3-part series out of my book, I Am the Light, The Wisdom of Jesus in the 21st Century. If you look up author name Patricia Horton, you will find all of my work. I have guided meditations in there that are recorded and they're digital downloads. I have 2 other books that I'm accredited in. Another book where I am the main author and another book where I'm a co-author. So I invite you to go seek and look around Amazon and find those works. So today I wanted to share with you what happened on the 3rd day as we went into the evening of my week of trance mediumship. On the night that the English tutor went into trance and I was chosen. So if you were around yesterday, you heard about the experience where for the first 3 days, I just felt like I was just at every turn. It was kind of like a suck in the jaw, just a kind of shove down, just, sit down, be quiet, be seen but not heard. That's kind of the energy that I felt that I was experiencing. Yet other people were elevated to speak and depended on who you were and who you knew. And so it was really an eye-opening experience to be in a spiritual community like that, because it wasn't what I was expecting, and it wasn't what I was taught, and it wasn't what I knew of from my home circle, as I sat in my home circle for 26 years with one of the most amazing and beautiful and talented mediums and woman that you were ever blessed to know. She was wise beyond wisdom and words, and information flowed for her because she taught all of her students how to go direct and remain in a space for yourself so that wisdom has a place to flow freely for you. So on that night, on that Wednesday night, when I declared, you're going to pick me and I'm going to sit in that seat. Now, when I was sitting in that seance room and they were preparing it, and I was hearing all about what was going to happen there that night, because I had no idea. And there was this really cute little blonde-haired lady, and she was setting up the stage. And then there was the gentleman in the class, and he was sitting, to the chair to the right of me. And I remember saying, they were talking about this, and I made my declaration: I'm going to get picked in that chair. You're going to put me in that chair. Do you hear me, God? Because that's the way that I speak with God. I know it sounds like it might be a little rough or a little abrupt, but that's just the way that I communicate with him. And when I want an answer, for me, my humanness, I need to state it out loud, and I state it in a way almost like, I'm ready, deliver me that answer. So as we were sitting in the room, I had said to both of them, I said, do you realize that tonight is a new moon, but it's a full moon, but it's a blue moon? I said, and this is going to be such a powerful full moon tonight. And I said, don't forget to make your wishes. So it was really funny when both tutors arrived in the space. The American tutor started speaking, and he was talking, giving a little bit of a lecture and letting people know what was going to happen that night. And he had said, I just want you all to know that tonight is a full moon, it's a blue moon, and to make your wishes. And I remember looking over at my classmate and kind of, chuckling a little bit, because I was like, I just stated that, 30 minutes ago. So the energy was really ripe. So as we were sitting in the seance room and it began to fill up, and my friend, she was, I'm still friends with her today. I love her to death. We still talk on the phone. We still communicate. She had asked me, can you get there early and save us a seat? Get a seat up in the front. So I did. I went there early, not only to vibe in the space and to get that front row seat, but I also did it because she asked me if I would. So, of course, that's, if someone asked me to do something, I'm more than likely I'm going to do it for you, because I'm one of those giving people. So I went in, I got the seat, and I had put a water bottle on the seat next to me to save it for her, because the room started filling up quickly. So The room was packed. All the chairs were filled, and all of a sudden the back of the room was filled with people. It became a standing room only place. And so everybody was moving in and they were filling the back. Well, we had no idea that there was a group of people that were waiting outside, and right before the seance began, they all filed into the room, and they all took place in front of the front row, and they were all sitting Indian style on the floor. And that's when I said to my friend, because they were the followers and they came with the American tutor, and I said, "Wow, isn't this something? It's going to be rigged, and they're going to pick somebody from the floor." And I was like, just kind of like, really, really? So then out of nowhere, after I made that statement, the one woman from class who used to bicker with the American tutor comes out of nowhere with a chair in her hand, and she marches right over and she places it next to me. And I said, "Oh, well, this is the aisle, and you can't put your chair there." And she said, "I don't care, I'm sitting here." And so I'm like, okay. So I kind of just like zipped my lip and just minded my own business. So when it came time, and the American tutor did his demonstration and he did his thing, and so we watched him do his bit of trance work. And then it was time for the English tutor to come on. Now the English tutor had, this was his life's work. This is what he does, and this is who he is. And so to watch somebody go into that trance state and that true authentic place, and to allow the spirit to flow through them, is a wonderful, beautiful experience. And so if you ever get the opportunity to see someone who's an authentic trance medium, take the opportunity to go and buy yourself a ticket and sit inside that seance room and experience yourself what it means to be in the presence of the spirit world as they step forth through what you call their human counterpart. So when it came time, and the American tutor had gotten in the aisle because it was the only place for the American tutor to walk while the English tutor was in trance. So out of nowhere, I could hear it would be to my right, and I could hear the English tutor or the American tutor walking up and down the aisle and talking in the microphone. And the English tutor is up there, and he's kind of describing what's happening. And the next thing you know, the English tutor does a small demo, and then the next thing you know, I see all these hands go up in the air. And so then I remembered what they had said, so I'm like, "Oh, I'm putting my hand up in the air," and this was the hand I put up in the air, and I had a beautiful bracelet on, because I remember the bracelet I had bought at the demo at the retreat, and they were these Swarovski crystal bracelets. And I remember putting my hand up in the air like everybody else, and lo and behold, I could feel the American tutor to my right. And realizing that he couldn't get through, and realizing that somebody had put a chair in his way and he wasn't having it, so he had no other alternative. I think maybe out of frustration, I don't know, but the only thing I remember is there was a hand around my wrist, and it was being lifted out of my chair and guided to the chair for the medium. So when I sat there, and then there was the first entity to come through was called Zoltar, and he gave some information. I don't remember it exactly for the room, and I was sitting in the chair, and Zoltar was speaking, and the next thing you know, you can see that there's a change in exchange and a change in energy. And so Zoltar leaves, and another entity shows up and steps into the English tutor's body and becomes his mind and his hands and his arms and begins to utilize the physicality of the medium to communicate information. So the English medium puts his hands forward, and I'm told to put my hands inside of his hands. And I remember putting my hands inside his hands, and his hands were like just sweaty. They were sweaty, and it was almost like you could feel them like a suction cup when my hands went in there. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to get better at it. This was after I had sat there and I was supporting. So when Zoltar was speaking and I was sitting before the English medium and I was sending the English medium all my love, all my energy, all my gratitude, thanking God for putting me in that chair, asking that I be blessed with information that will benefit me for my human life and on a humanitarian level, and just praying and sending. It was after that I slid my hands in, and the American tutor then appears to my left, and I have a microphone in my face. So as I put my hands inside the English tutor's hands, the American tutor goes, "What are you feeling?" And I said, I can feel him tapping into the essence of my soul. Now, before that happened, he comes forward and he says his name is Star. So the entity that decides to step into the English tutor's body after Zoltar left was Star. So I said, I feel him tapping into the essence of my soul. And then I remember him speaking to me and saying, yes, we know this one. We recognized you for many lifetimes. We've known you by many names, but I believe it was like you have one. So you have an original name, but we've known you by many different names. So I asked, let's see if I got it here. I'm going to read to you what I wrote back in 2013. Let me get my glasses on. So it said, this is what his message to me was. Teacher, healer, master, teacher, beautiful soul. We know who you are by a different name. And I asked, well, what is that name? And they said, your name is Sapphire. So I thought, okay, so that's my original soul name was Sapphire. And then they were real funny because in trance, the energy and the essence was really funny. And so all of a sudden, out of nowhere, Star says, lazy, lazy, lazy. And the whole room erupts in laughter. And so I laughed too. And so everyone's laughing because he's calling me lazy. So I said, he told me I need to teach the people through speaking. Teach those who are broken and heal them. Teach those who refuse to hear. Teach those the way. Teach the people through speaking. And I said, but I said, well, I don't know. I said, I'm diligent. I do my work. I sit in the chair. And I was told that I was lazy, that I wasn't doing the purpose of what I was born to do. And what I was born to do was teach people through my vocalization, through the words to be spoken. And ultimately, I believe that part of it is my work as a trance medium and sitting in the seance room and allowing those voices to be heard and utilized through my physical body. So that's an honor and a privilege for me to be able to have that exchange with the spirit world. As they went on, he said, teach those who are indignant through speaking. Speak so that your voice is heard. Beautiful, beautiful one. Teach those the way. You bring people much joy. And I asked, well, how will I speak? And he says, we will come to you with inspiration. Speak, speak, speak. Let your voice be heard. So during this message, I was also told that I was born a master teacher. So an ascended master. And I don't ever talk about this because it's just, oh, she's so full of herself, or oh my gosh, how could you say this about yourself? But in that moment, one of the gifts that were given to me to tell me who I was, and we know you go by many names, but we know you as one, was when that information was given of being an ascended master and coming back here to teach the masses. And as we find ourselves in a world full of turmoil, and I've dedicated years and years and years to sharing the inspired writing that comes through me, and years and years and years on the platform, and doing public demonstrations and teaching classes, what I know on an energetic level, what I know from a place of experience, and wearing that cloak of humility. It's one of the gifts that I bring to the world. So The reason why I don't often talk about this or ever talk about this is I've rarely shared it. It's been maybe shared one or two other times throughout all the years that I've been teaching from that moment of 2013. As we find ourselves in 2023, I don't share it often because I don't want people to think that I'm above them or I'm better than them or that they're beneath me in any way, or part of my teaching is to teach people how to elevate themselves and never to become a carbon copy of somebody else, but see those mirrored reflections within the teachers that you sit before, because those mirrored reflections become that example. So I want to thank you all for joining me today, and my little helper, my little beautiful one is up, and I'm going to go and take care of her, and I hope that you enjoyed today's bonus series from this part 3 series. See you later, and again, have a really beautiful new year.